The next 2 years and many after that, but the next 2 years, teachers are one of the 3 fundamental blocks of our activity. And for the next biennium, that is going to start in January, we will be focusing on addressing the teacher gap and facilitating South-South and North-South-South collaboration. Mainly ICT for Education will focus on teacher training. We are aware of the great shortage, the teacher shortage. And then also the innovation in teacher education and a data bank on innovations in teacher training will be established. We provide teachers with resources as much as we can, and I've selected here a portal for teachers developed by our UNESCO office in Bangkok, who is very, very active in this area, and they've done a lot of good things and many resources in the classroom or for professional development of teachers, or guidelines and policies that are collected from all over the world. You will find, I'm sure, this portal of tremendous interest for your work. Some of the resources that we produce and are on which several US experts like Dr. Resta, Dr. Don Nezek and others have contributed. I wanted to pay tribute to that. There is a global awareness raising action about open education resources, and UNESCO has published this open education resources, latest publication this year, and there is a wiki, a very interesting one, and I would like to invite you to encourage you to use it. They really give you very many insights into what's going on globally. UNESCO and its partners, because we are not alone, and I was telling you about the value of our partners, have come up with the ICT competency standards for teachers, and they were developed in partnership with the companies that you have there, Intel, Cisco, Microsoft, the International Society for Technology and Education, and Virginia Tech. For the time being, there are 3 booklets: a policy framework, competency standards module, and implementation guidelines. But the work is going on with validation systems. And all these publications have been translated into the 6 languages of UNESCO, and they are being used. Believe me that it's a very comforting thing to see that teachers are interested. And as you can see at the bottom line, the teacher professional development from digital literacy to teacher as model learner is it's an emerging trend in all countries. Now, at the World Conference on Higher Education, we organized with Microsoft for the second year running, an Education Leaders Forum which followed the World Conference. And this one-day forum was entitled Higher Education Revisioning for Recovery, the Path to Sustainable Development. We want education and whatever happens to be sustainable, because we need sustainable development. There were interesting discussions on how governments and universities should take advantage of the e-technology potential to address the current knowledge and skills challenges. A joint UNESCO-Microsoft task force on ICT and higher education was announced, and also Microsoft announced a $50 million commitment in support of the mission of the new task force. And I don't think that the money is the element that counts. I think that each partner will bring their potential, will try to multiply the value of the financial and human resources so as to be able to address the critical issues that are here, that are now by 2015 to train 1.9 million teachers. That's not easy. Another partner of UNESCO, it's Hewlett-Packard. It's a committed partner, and there is this project which is called the Brain Gain Initiatives. Academics are mobile. They lead the developing countries for developed countries for reasons which are very easily to understand. But this is trying to reverse the trend and to strengthen the teaching and research capacities of higher education institutions, and also facilitate exchange networking thanks to grid and cloud computing technologies. Another partner that was present at the World Conference was OECD, and they recently published this very interesting document, which is called Creating Effective Teaching and Learning Environment. But what I selected from it was this table, which puts on the first, as a first element, the lack of pedagogical preparation as the main obstacle, yes, that hinders the provision of quality instruction in schools. So that shows us that even in OECD, very developed country, there are issues to be addressed in teacher education. The Commonwealth of Learning published an interesting, this publication, Education for a Digital World, and this was developed by some 53 practitioners in higher education, and it's a collection of proven strategy and tools for effective online teaching based on the principles of learning, and very many interesting case studies from all over the world. In Europe, closer, we have this e-excellence publication of the European Association of Distance Teaching Universities, which is a manual providing benchmarks and quality criteria and performance indicators, including for the assessment and review of e-learning and teacher professional development. And it's a very useful manual instrument. Last but not least, I wanted to tell you that UNESCO is scaling up best practice, and we do hope that whatever you will produce here will be able to be disseminated internationally, and I'd be pleased to also join my modest efforts to your efforts. This year, the prize, which is called the UNESCO King Hamad Al Khalifa Prize, it's a prize funded by the Kingdom of Bahrain. This year's theme attracted immense interest because it was devoted to teachers, teaching, learning, and e-pedagogy, teacher professional development for knowledge societies. And you have the names, well, of the laureates too. Unfortunately, it's always the case. You have to choose one or two only, although there were many interesting projects and noteworthy initiatives. But these sources provide exemplary models for the resourceful use of web-based technologies, teacher professional development. And this is something that it's very important in our work of appropriately informing policy advice for member states. Well, thank you very much for your attention. Once again, I would like to say that I'm delighted to be in this beautiful city of Austin, in the state of Texas, and to be a part of this very distinguished group of educational leaders. Thank you.